Swear I lose like 5 pens a day. Anyways, imaginary numbers. The problem is there has to be a continuity of numbers, right? So all mathematical functions have to work for all types of numbers, and a square root is something that we came up with, right? There's a square root. You can take a square root of 4. We did that whole radical thing last chapter. All right. So if you can take the square root of 4, you should be able to take the square root of any number. What then is the square root of negative 1? What does square root mean? What does square root mean? What's square root of 4? What's that mean? Yeah, it's what number times itself equals the original. Alright, so Tim, what number times itself equals negative 1? Yeah, what's 1 times 1? That equals 1. That didn't work. What's negative 1 times negative 1? Also positive 1. That still didn't work. But there has to be an answer to this. What's the solution? We say the answer to that is I, as in imaginary. We'll use I just to represent the square root of negative 1, so that there's a continuity in the number line. Seems kind of silly at first, but it's actually not so bad. Okay? Square root of negative 1 is I. So anytime you have a negative inside the square root, just know when it comes out, it's an I. Right? We got our little bouncer here. Bouncer's like, I need to see pairs, but anytime it sees a negative, it's like, I don't know what to do with you. So it just kicks it out and says it's imaginary. So what would be the answer to the negative square root of 3? Does the 3 have a partner? No, so it has to stay inside. But the negative, the bouncer's like, I don't know what's going on there. Come outside. And it comes out as I, the square root of negative 1, imaginary. That's it. That's your answer. How about the next one? Does 4 factor into what? 2 times 2. So is their partner? Absolutely. So what gets to come out? The 2. What about that negative? What do we write for that? I. Anything left inside? Nope. That's the answer, 2I. Any questions on those first two? Alright, you guys all tried this one by yourself. And then we'll look at it together. Alright, Caleb, does 8 factor? Yeah. What goes into 8? 4 times 2, good. Either of those factor again? Yep. Which one? 4. Good, into? 2 times 2, another 2. We do have one pair of 2s, so we know a 2 comes out. Because of the negative, an I comes out, what's left on the inside? 2. That's the only one that didn't have a partner. Stays on the inside. That's our final answer. Notice there's no minus sign in our correct answer, right? Because the square root of the negative became I. That's different in this one. There's an actual negative on the outside that we can't forget. So when we factor 12, which is 4 times 3, which is 2 times 2 times 3, there's a negative on the outside. Then the negative square root comes out as I. The pair of 2's comes out as 1, 2, and there's still the 3 left inside. And that's as complex as a imaginary radical can get. Alright, there's a negative part a number part that comes out, an imaginary part, and a number part that stays in. Not so bad?